Hi, I'm Spencer,
And I'm Blake.
and you're about to get jumped.
This is our 8th end of the year special on Blake and Spencer Get Jumped, a weekly podcast where we watch the anime so you don't have to.
But you should still totally watch the anime.
This week we're recapping our 8th year of podcasting and going over all the plots that we watched and talking about some of the other stuff that we watched and things that happen outside of the podcast, things that happen inside of the podcast. We're all over the place today.
Outside, inside, around the backside. Anyways, let's jump into this podcast we do.
Woo!
All right. First and foremost, pardon me as I am, I don't know. My nose is like basically useless to me at this point, and I feel as though I look like rolled out of bed chic at right now.
We've been talking on the phone for a few minutes now, 11 and a half minutes, and you are sounding increasingly nasally. So when you said earlier, before we started recording, that you felt maybe like you were getting sick, I also am starting to feel that about you.
Thanks. I like the support system. I'm just like, when you are sick, I also feel that you are sick.
Yeah, I just want to support you in this.
Yeah, I just want you to feel my support through this microphone and telephone. I just
We
want
also-
you to feel it.
We
I want you to
also-
reach out and touch me through this. Just reach out.
Yeah.
I
also
reached
still-
towards my camera,
Jesus
and I know that
Christ.
you didn't, you bitch.
I did not at all.
Yeah.
We'll fix it in post. It's fine.
That's not how it works.
Isn't it? You can edit a hand in there. No, don't do it. I'm just worried it's gonna look like a certain type of salute that we're not gonna have.
What if I just like superimposed my hand also out of your side?
That would be so ridiculous in the right way. So anyway, I was going to say also, we are still getting used to this new video podcast thing. And one thing we've been trying, as we've said a few times on the show, we have almost never recorded in a situation where we can see each other while we're recording. And with the transition from our previous audio only format to our new audio video format, we started using Discord to have a video call with each other. The first time we did that was something of a disaster because the Discord video call was recording audio over the audio that we were recording using a different program, but they were getting saved together. So that wasn't great. So we stopped using Discord audio, but we've been using... Well, no. What we did was the next time we did Discord on our phones while we recorded on our laptops so that the Discord audio would not mess with the recorded audio. And that worked just fine. But as we discussed setting up this episode, we both agreed that after the first few minutes of the episode, we stop looking at each other because we're either looking at the notes so that we know what's being talked about, or I think at least I am looking at myself to check in on how heinous I look on the screen because I'm very self-conscious about being able to be seen now, and I'm not used to thinking about that while I'm recording. All of that to say, Spencer has painted a lovely picture of himself as being some sort of disheveled, just out of bed goblin. And I think I look pretty all right now. So I'm really excited to see the contrast between the two of us for this episode.
Yeah, I'm a full goblin today.
Yeah.
But I will say sometimes when my nose is really like stuffed up, it makes my voice deeper, so I'm wondering if that's happening.
I think so. So
I'll get like Barry White over here. Just be like, "Ooh, baby, let's talk about anime."
Let's I have this later, but I think maybe before we get into our recap of the year in the podcast, maybe we could talk about our lives outside of the podcast this year. And then we could go
Yeah.
into recapping stuff from the podcast. We'll talk about the shows we covered. We'll talk about the shows that we reviewed. And then we'll talk about any other anime and manga stuff we've been getting into this year that hasn't been a part of the podcast. Then we'll go into all of our
Yeah.
sort of like recap reward stuff that we do at the end. And then we'll close it out. But this just feels like a nice natural transition into the us but not yet anime portion of the show. Since you're talking about your voice, and that's been like a big thing with your year this year, right?
Yeah, so I've been expanding out to doing more like audio stuff. Doing trying to do character voiceover stuff. I've done like a couple of smaller things. And then I've done one audiobook. And I'm trying to reach out and do more of those things in the upcoming year. So I'm actively working on demo stuff. I'm actively working on auditions and stuff like that, which is really cool. I'm in this space, which sounds much much better than I used to, just because I've got like padded walls. It's to keep me my crazy and um, so yeah, that's
Yeah,
fun.
that's why.
Um, yeah. Um, I mean, also like new work, new life stuff, but I don't really want to get into that. But you know, it is what it is.
You're still doing basically the same job, but you're just like at a different place, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
I had to scratch my ear real quick.
I
Great, great
I
visual fun.
I wanted to prompt you. I'm going to talk about my life as well, but before I get into that, the big thing in my life in the last few weeks is the hot new show on TV called Heated
Oh my god.
Rivalry.
He
Heated
posts about
Rivalry.
this fucking thing so much. It's ridiculous.
I could not be more obsessed. I'm not sure I've ever been as obsessed with something as I am with this. The reason I'm bringing it up right now, one, I haven't talked about it on the podcast yet. I am completely obsessed with it. I love it so much. It's only 6 episodes, and the last episode showed on the night of Christmas. So it's probably going to start to fade from the zeitgeist and also from the burning passions of the people who've been obsessed with it. But there is something about this show that is really alchemical. And I am very much not the only person who has been completely hooked by it. And I would love to talk about it at length, but I'm not going to do that here. The reason I'm bringing it up right now, again, other than to have an excuse to bring it up on the podcast, is that there are audiobooks for this. This show is adapted from a book series that is currently 6 books long. It is actually an adaptation of the second book in the series, although it includes a sort of shortened version of the first book in it. I discovered that the audiobooks for 5 of the 6 books, not the third one for some reason, but the other 5 are available on Spotify. If you're a Spotify premium member, which I am, you have some access to audiobooks. You get like 15 hours of audiobook listening a month, but there's only certain books that are included. So this book series was included, and I was like, oh great, I'm completely obsessed with this. I can listen to the books to fill in the gaps between episodes while I'm waiting for them to come out and not able to think about anything else. Um, these audiobooks are apparently infamously bad. I don't think the books themselves are considered bad, although there's a lot of discourse around whether or not the first book is good. It was the first book ever by this author, and I think even the author Rachel Reed has said like she did a lot of growing after the first book between that and the second book, which is called Heated Rivalry. So I don't know. Your mileage may vary. What I've listened to so far has been a perfectly enjoyable read for what it is. I mean, it is a very sexy romance story. So the romance is relatively simple in the first book. Not a lot is being asked, but I'm also not asking a lot from it. So your mileage may vary. However, the audiobook reader, who I bear no ill will, has made a very bold choice. Um, these characters live in New York, and one of them is said to have a Brooklyn accent. And
Huh.
the audiobook reader has decided that one of the two main characters will have what I assume is his attempt at a Brooklyn accent. It is baffling because it is so bad. And as somebody who's not an expert on a Brooklyn accent, I will say maybe I'm wrong about what a Brooklyn accent sounds like, but this sounds like somebody who has a bunch of marbles in their mouth trying to speak through it. He's also giving him a bit of a huskier affect, so it
Yeah.
really sounds like somebody who has um, a real messed up way of speaking. It's almost incomprehensible at times, and there are, whether or not it is close to a Brooklyn accent, it is not consistent. I can guarantee
Yeah.
you that. And it is, I just, listening to it, I'm like, I understand that the author sold the rights to the audiobooks years ago. And she has stated publicly that she had no control over any of the aspects of producing the audiobook. So she did not get a say in how that character was voiced at all. And
Huh.
I think she has judiciously, if she said anything about agreeing with the fans that the audiobook reader made a bad choice, I haven't found it. I think she's trying to stay above that and trying not to shit where she eats. But oh boy, as much as I want to listen to this book, every time one of the two main characters has any amount of dialogue, it is tough. And thankfully,
Yeah.
it does not extend to the prose in that character's point of view. And I don't think it extends to their internal thoughts, but it might. But geez, when he speaks out loud, it's rough. So, I sincerely hope that you're achieving greater things than that.
Yeah. I mean, he. I'm assuming all he does is he just keeps on talking about gabagool. He's
Yeah,
just like, I
exactly.
love that gabagool.
I'm gonna try and do an impression of it. So, uh, I'm gonna say I'm narrating the audiobook for Game Changer, which is the first book in the series. Uh, if he were normally reading the prose, he would say it pretty much like that. Obviously, not in my voice, but in his own voice, he would say it normal. And if he were narrating Scott, he would say it relatively normal, but he would say it like a character was saying it. And if he were narrating it in Kip's dialogue, it would be like, I'm narrating the book, the audiobook for
Oh,
Game Changers. And
it
it's
cannot possibly
just,
sound like that.
it sounds shockingly like that. I'm pretty sure I did a really good impression right there. So,
I I had to do a Brooklyn accent for a show
yeah.
a long time ago, and it takes a long time to like get there.
Hmm.
I had to be like a bro at a dog park, like a Brooklyn bro at a dog park, and it
Okay.
was really hard to get there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna attempt a actual Brooklyn accent right now because like it I had like I don't know, like 20 or 30 lines of dialogue inside of that dog park scene. And like, I had to remind myself how I should be sounding so often.
Yeah.
Because I'm not bad with accents, but like, man, oh man, it's a hard one to do.
Uh huh.
Most New York accents are really fucking hard to do unless you're doing like a caricature of them. It's just like how people are like, I can do a Boston accent. And I was just like, bullshit, you can do a real Boston accent. Like, real Boston accents are fucking hard. You could probably do like the Harvard Yard thing, where it's just
Yeah.
like, go park the car in the Harvard Yard. And it's just like, yeah, but that's not how they actually fucking sound.
Uh huh.
So,
And saying a sort of bespoke phrase is not the same as doing an accent properly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I just I think it's just a bit too close to like a Sylvester Stallone impersonation, an unintentional one, which is not.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not the correct choice, and it definitely sounds like that.
That's,
That kind of like
that's also a
Stallone marble
perfect
mouth.
impression of Sylvester Stallone.
Oh yeah, I knew
I did it.
he's a guest on this episode of the podcast. I'm assuming. So anyway, that's what's been going on in my life recently. is Heated Rivalry. I'm sure there were some
Yeah.
holidays in and around that, but I could not focus on anything else. In my
Yeah.
life, in the grander scheme of things, this year has been probably the most up in the air, unsettled year of my life that I can remember, which is great because I was never, like really down in it. I was never completely adrift. So, in the grand scheme of things, it's good to be able to say like, okay, things have gone all right for me. But yeah, this year my husband stopped being in the Air Force. He's very excited about that. He worked really, really hard on doing networking stuff and getting out job applications in the months leading up to the end of his Air Force career, and had like almost no bites. I think by the time he was actually done with the Air Force, I'm not sure that he had had any interviews at all. We In the lead up to that, we had obviously hoped and I think expected that he would be able to use that like 3 month window as the Air Force was coming to a close to get a job lined up. In fact, he got started early enough that one of the companies, ironically the company that he ultimately got a job with, had a job opening they were interested in him for, that he was interested in, and they were like, it's too early for you to apply to it. So he really got the jump on the thing. But something happened, and I think probably was related to the Doge cuts in the government, that cut a lot of very talented people with almost no notice from government jobs, and sort of flooded the market with people with a lot of skills and expertise that happened to have those skills and expertise in the fields that he was looking at. So I think he just happened to get into the job market at the wrong time, which also I think extends to now. Is It sounds like from my news podcast that now is also the wrong time to get into the job market, but
Uh,
it seems like he just kind of had a little bit of bad luck there, which led to a period of months in which we were approaching the end of his Air Force service, and we're starting to become increasingly stressed about not knowing where we were going to go. The initial plan was that we were going to leave our northern Colorado home probably to get somewhere on August 1st, with the idea that there would be a job lined up. And then that just didn't happen. So we ended up
yeah.
moving in I think like November 10th, somewhere around there. So we had several months where he was unemployed. During that time, I was able to get a remote job. So I have started working consistent day job instead of the gig work that I've been doing for years, which was really, really nice. And then he ultimately landed a really good job here in Salt Lake City, which is where we now live for the last, I don't know, month and a half. And yeah,
Yeah.
so there were a couple shows that I did theatrically, and obviously there were the early months in the year when we knew that this was the year that the Air Force was ending, and this was the year that this big transition was coming up. But it was far enough away that there wasn't anything we could do about it. I'm sure there was stuff that happened during that, but this year for me, sort of emotionally and retroactively, has been dominated by that sort of like stressful period of uncertainty. And then thankfully we have landed on our feet and landed in Salt Lake City, which I think I was hopeful but not thrilled about when he got the job. And since we've moved here, I think we are both really pleasantly surprised at how much we like it here and how excited we are to be here. So yeah, it was definitely a big personal year. Living in northern Colorado was the place I've lived in the longest since I moved out of my childhood home, and it was really hard to leave it, and very sad to not have been able to pick up our lives there and continue on with like the communities and friends that we had built for ourselves. But we're in a good place. So it was a big year, and I'm glad that it was able to resolve itself positively.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, coming to an end of a year and realizing that you're in a better place than you were before is like definitely a thing that I'm feeling this year, where
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to super delve into my personal stuff. So like, but this year has been very different and very new,
Uh-huh.
with like a lot of good changes for me and my life, and getting me to like a better place, especially mentally. So I'll just leave it that way.
Yeah,
I'm
but I
also
think
excited about like
oh, I was just
what's
going to
that?
say I think you and I both went through uh different different versions of that like period of uncertainty that created mounting stress, and then now we're both kind of sitting in a place of like, hey, I came out of that where I needed to, and things are looking up. So I think that's good
Yeah,
for both of us.
ride the elevator down the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, it's been good. I strangered the things the end of
Oh,
last year. Um, so that's fun. I will
you've
say this. I am hoping that this fucking fan theory that that has come about in the past couple of days is real, which is
okay.
like legitimately people are thinking there's going to be a secret bonus episode that's going to drop on January the 7th.
Okay.
Um, so that
I,
like changes everything and how it ended. Um,
I'm
we'll
totally out of
see.
the
We're
loop
2
on
days
this
from
too.
that.
Yeah, I watched the 2 or 3 episodes that dropped around Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
and then I have not picked it back up. So whatever has happened in the December drop, and yeah, so it's over now, right? Unless this fan theory turns out to be true.
Well,
So
maybe over.
okay, yeah, but they had like the theatrical, like this is the end. Come to the movie theater and watch it, which I thought was a good.
Yeah.
As much as I raise an eyebrow at corporations trying to find ways to wring additional dollars out of you, I thought that for something like Stranger Things, it felt somewhat appropriate to have like a big theatrical thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that. I don't know. I've been kind of sitting on it where it's like I don't know that I was very enthusiastic to watch the new episodes um, when the first part of season 5 dropped, because I don't know. It's just it's been going for so long with such huge gaps that I was just like, it's not pressing. And then we watched it because we had some friends visiting, and there was interest, I think, from Pete and from our friend Jen in watching it more immediately. So it's what we watched, and I really really enjoyed it in a way that
Yeah.
I remember enjoying the fourth season, but the fourth season has sort of faded into this miasma of like it was really long. Because the final episode was like 90 minutes, which I understand that the series finale is probably going to be basically a movie by itself, but I remember
Yeah.
thinking like the season 4 finale is a movie, like it's the finale of a season that's not the last season, like probably let's just maybe like edit it a little bit or cut it into two. um and like the actual content of it kind of got flooded away by that, so I think I was just like not connected to it. But yeah, those first couple of episodes I thought were really really great, and I am generally enthusiastic to see where it goes. But I just didn't. I haven't reached for it yet. I haven't felt that urge to reach for it. And even talking about it right now, I'm like, yeah, I want to.
Yeah.
I want to watch the ending. I want to see how it ends. And it's one of those things that I want to see how it ends sooner than later because I don't want it to be spoiled, out in the world. But yeah, I don't feel that like drive to go watch it right now.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Speaking of
I'm gonna
things
say
we
that let's go ahead
watched,
and jump into a year of watched.
yeah,
Um, I think I'm gonna go ahead and grab Jujutsu Kaisen.
yeah, no shit,
And we'll go one after each other with the shows that we watched throughout the year and giving you updates.
yeah,
So, JJK, Yuji Megumi and Nobara investigate kids being cursed, which leads Megumi's first domain expansion and the recovery plus consumption of another Sakuna finger. He's going to eat a lot of fingers by the end of this year, you guys.
yeah,
Not all of the fingers he's awake for. Sometimes he's asleep and they just push fingers down his throat, which
mm-hmm,
is not okay.
No, I think
Anyways,
we've had this conversation about finger consent before.
yeah. Gojo is going to talk about how there's a traitor in Jujutsu High. There's also a JJK movie, which is just going to remind you that other shit has happened before, and there was big, spooky, smashy things that had happened before that. There's a character that we're going to meet and not see again in the episodes that we watched so far this year. He's super important. He's got a crazy curse that's secretly his, like, young friend who he saved from dying, except for he didn't save her from dying, but like he kind of did because her spirit carried around with him. Anyways, season 2 starts and it's a flashback. Woo!
But it's
We're gonna
good.
learn about Gojo and Geto, and they wanted to protect this thing, which really sounds cultish, which is like, this is a girl that we have to feed, that is going to become
Well, this is a
connected.
story all about a girl that we have to feed.
Yeah, they have to like merge her with an ageless entity because that's what their thetans are telling them to do.
It's the old man and the she.
And yeah, and so they're getting her over there, and there's a guy that's hired to murder the heavenly vessel. Turns out they can't stop it, and he is going to kill them. Geto uses that to become very angry, and because of that, he is going to try to kill. And Gojo's not going to like that, and Gojo and Geto are going to become not friends. And we also learned in the movie that Geto dies.
Yeah, which
so like
was
at this point, we're just like, you're talking a whole lot about somebody who is not alive. But it turns out, back in the now times, they are going to be fighting against, for some reason, Geto, except for he has a kind of spooky, I don't know, pattern that's on his forehead.
it's a scar.
Yeah. They also find out that Mekamaru was the one that was betraying everybody, and he's going to try to do a double cross on the people that he's selling information to. They're going to end up killing him, but not before he scatters some amount of his Pokeballs to his friends. Then
It's more like Horcruxes, if we're being honest.
Yeah, well, Horcruxes, if like the way that you are living out your life is less immortal and more of the annoying talking narrator in somebody's life.
Yeah, it's
that's
actually,
giving them like,
it's kind of like a mod soul.
yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
Oh man, I hate mod souls.
me too.
Anyways,
Specifically one mod
uh,
soul.
they bring all these people together inside of Shibuya. And the whole reason they want to do this is so that they can get Gojo and seal him, and they get Gojo and seal him. And so Yuji and friends come to try to save them. And last we left off, Yuji had been knocked out and fed a whole bunch of Sakuna fingers, and then turned out he woke up as Sakuna. Meanwhile, all of our friends have been basically murdered.
Yeah.
And we don't really know what's going to happen to everybody, and that's where we left it.
Yeah, it's a big cliffhanger, and it's not the only cliffhanger that we've got on this list.
Yeah.
Kaiju
Tell us about
number
Kaiju.
8. Yeah, Kaiju number 8 this year. We finished season 1. Season 2 has come out, but we finished season 1 before, with enough of gap before season 2 that we haven't gotten to that yet. So, a little bit of a cliffhanger there, but a little bit more closure than Jujutsu Kaisen. So we pick up in the middle of an event where the Mushroom Man Kaiju is about to kill our friends Reno and Iharu, but Kafka shows up. He kaijus and fights the Mushroom Man away, and then he goes to escape and is found by his captain Soshiro, who fights him and almost kills him. Kafka has to really put on the gas to get away, and confuses Soshiro with the fact that Kafka, the kaiju, who he does not realize is Kafka, did not try and kill him, but just used his powers to escape, and that's not how that's supposed to work. So then Kafka, independent of this, is officially promoted to the Defense Force because of the valuable knowledge he provided in that operation. Then, pretty much immediately, the Defense Force base where they are at is attacked by a horde of wyvern kaiju. The wyvern kaiju are usually solitary, but they've been brought together to work as a group because they are under the leadership of another humanoid kaiju, a big red man, who goes off to fight Soshiro because Soshiro is, at that point, the strongest person on the Defense Force base. So we get our heroes fighting off the wyvern while Soshiro 1v's against this big kaiju that is ultimately decided to be kaiju number 10. Um,
Yeah.
the fight goes okay for Soshiro at first. He kind of beats him, but then kaiju number 10 does a let my monster grow moment, and he turns into a giant version and is not only not sort of reeling from the wounds that Soshiro gave him initially, but is actually like super powered and even stronger than before. So
Yeah.
he starts to um, fight back against Soshiro, who's really reaching his limits. And Kafka is like, oh god, I'm gonna have to step in and turn into my kaiju version. Because if I don't, Soshiro is going to get killed. But if I do that, then the jig is up, and everybody's going to know I'm a kaiju. And right before he does that, Mina shows back up at the base and kills kaiju number 10, which stops the whole problem, except that it doesn't, because all the wyverns then like gather together to turn themselves into a giant bomb. And
Yeah.
Mina's not able to shoot the bomb away, and Soshiro is not able to slash the bomb to death. So Kafka realizes that he will actually, after all, have to kaijuify himself and use his big kaiju strong powers to punch the bomb dragons into the sky so that they explode harmlessly. This leads to Kafka getting arrested and then sent off to a headquarters for the defense forces. However, he finds out on his way that his teammates, and specifically Mina, who was, of course, his childhood friend that has kind of surpassed him and left him behind, they are surprisingly not afraid of him and not rejecting him as a teammate, but are deciding that they're going to stand up for him because they're like, well, we know who he is, and
Yeah.
he's our teammate, and we're going to vouch for him. So they all go to the mat and in various ways try to impress upon the brass that he is a person first, and that the fact that he had secret kaiju powers should not disqualify him from continuing to be alive. Uh,
Yeah.
the military brass are not so sure about that. So there is a character named Iseo who is one of our other characters' parents, and he is a super powerful, high level member of the military. He has what's called a numbers weapon, which is a basically like he's utilizing a weapon that was created from the body of a numbered kaiju, which are the strongest ones. So he begins to battle with Kafka. It seems like he's trying to kill Kafka, but then maybe it turns out that he's just trying to test Kafka. Unfortunately, he tests him a little bit too far and puts him in the precarious position of needing to defend his life, which causes his kaiju powers to go sort of full blast. And in the wake of that, the mysterious like dragonfly kaiju that turned Kafka into a human kaiju seems to be able to take over his body. And so Kafka's kaiju body starts to violently attack Iseo, while Kafka is in the sunken place trying to fight for control of his body back. He is eventually able to regain control right before landing a killing blow on Iseo, where he instead redirects that blow into his own chest, uh, narrowly avoiding killing himself. He's taken away for medical attention, and Iseo reveals that this has somehow passed the test, and Kafka is going to be allowed to return to service. However, very similar to Jujutsu Kaisen, he is now wanted for death by basically all the other members of the military brass, in the same way that Yuji is only alive because Gojo wills it. Basically, Iseo is like, your teammates want you alive, and I want you alive, and so you will be alive, but everybody else kind of wants you dead, so watch out for that. So there's definitely tension on the horizon, but the season ends well with Kafka returning back to the dream that he's had for all this time that he finally has achieved. All
Yeah.
right.
Naruto Shippuden is terrible this year. Most of it
So
is
it's
Naruto
astonishing.
just training.
It is astonishing how few bullet points I was able to distill what we watched this year into.
Yeah, so he's training for a lot of it.
Yep.
And he finally gets in sync with Kurama, which is the big giant fox that lives inside of him. There is one sequence of good episodes that we watched this year, I think, and all of the other ones were pretty bad. And it's going to be Naruto and B, and they're fighting against Pain, and then Itachi joins them, and then they win the fight, and now we're left there. So other shit also happened where they were fighting a bunch of zombie versions of these people that were incarnated that like used to be cool, but they're like so not fetch anymore. And so
What is
don't worry about
fetch?
them. We're gonna leave them alone, and we'll talk more about this year.
I
Anyways, what happened with Bleach?
uh one thing before we go, I have to officially disagree with you. Naruto wasn't all bad this year. Um as I was putting together the notes and reading through the summaries of these episodes, there are a lot of really cool moments and some really fun fights that happened. But
I'm
there,
gonna well actually you real quick, Blake, because I think what I said was there's not a sequence of good episodes that make up a single episode of our podcast.
I do agree with that, tragically. I think there is a lot of watchable stuff that happens that is like, you don't want to miss it. And then there's a lot of stuff that's like a good try, but that starts to feel a little bit like official filler.
Mm.
Where it's like, yeah, it's cool that you're getting to like make these characters that are ostensibly from the past of this world, and you know it's cool that you're expanding your ensemble cast to an even larger ensemble cast and giving different people time to shine as the like protagonist of this fight. Like I love the character Karui, and he gets a cool moment and a fight that I otherwise find to be relatively uncool. Um,
Yeah.
like there's just a lot of good moments scattered around, but you are correct. The stretch is a bit of a rough stretch.
Yeah, for real.
Speaking of rough stretches, Bleach. We
Yeah.
had a
It
sequence of bounce episodes.
if you're not a Patreon member, you haven't heard anything but Bounce in forever.
That's true. You haven't gotten there yet.
So if you want to
Ooh,
listen to when the show gets good again, go become a Patreon.
yeah. Oh boy. The bounce did they happen. Uh, and it's just not good. It's never good. I think there were like two or three fights that we thought were decent. I'm not sure that we ever found one of the fights to be like a great fight, but I do remember
No.
there
Not
being
even the
one.
final fight. It's terrible.
No, the final fight's bad. I do think there were some fights, particularly early in the beginning of the bounce. I think the beginning of the bounce is fine because I think the concept of the bounce is fine. And in the early going, you're learning everything is new and fresh and exciting. Um, and and I think there's some value to be found there. And I think one of the earliest fights was the one that I was like, oh, this is actually kind of fine. Um, and yeah, it doesn't have any momentum. It doesn't sustain itself. The quality is not high, and it doesn't stay as high as it gets. And yeah, it's just a mess. And like you said, Spencer, the final fight is bad. Like it's really uh, it's really decompressed. I would say like there's not a lot to the power being put on display by the villain, and you know, Bleach is not actually happening because it's filler. So Ichigo doesn't have new abilities that he's able to pull out. So like our hero isn't doing anything new or exciting because he is not able to advance because it's filler. and our villain's power is tragically limited. So yeah, the fight just kind of fizzles, and it's not great. And
Yeah.
there's an entire episode at the end of the bounce arc that is dedicated to putting the characters back where they're supposed to be, where they left off at the beginning of the bounce arc, with the exception of three mod soul characters who are unfortunately left alive at the end of the bounce arc, and are then,
Yeah, they're insufferable.
yeah, they're written into actual content later, and it's so obnoxious.
Yep.
However, the actual content is for the most part good because we get to the Arankars, which is maybe my favorite part of Bleach, and we're going to learn about a group called the Vizards, that are a group of people who have the ability to don a hollow mask, very similar to what's been happening to Ichigo involuntarily. They have like inner hollows, I think, that they're able to tame or be attuned with or something. And they want Ichigo to join their club, and he is not about that life.
Nah.
Meanwhile, Grant Fisher's going to come back. He has done a little form change to become an Arankar, and he is going to chase down Ichigo's body, which is currently housing Kon, and is going to be about to kill him when Ishin, Ichigo's dad, shows up and reveals that he's been a secret Soul Reaper this whole time, which is
Yeah.
a bit of an odd retcon if you stop to think about certain moments in the series before this. But yeah, it's cool. Bleach lives and dies on the rule of cool, and this is cool. Uryu, meanwhile, has lost his powers for the 8,000th time, and is,
Yeah, but he's gonna get him back, right?
yeah, yet again, he's going to be offered the chance to get his powers back. This time, it is in the form of his dad showing up and
Yeah.
revealing that he also has Quincy powers, which I guess is a surprise. And
Yeah.
I think it's a surprise that his dad is alive. I don't know. It,
Quincy really is that boyfriend that you just can't get to leave.
it
You're
is.
like, I just can't quit you.
It is that. Yeah. So yeah, and this is like the third or fourth time that Uryu's story arc has been, I've lost my powers, but now here's a workaround that gets me my powers back. It's pretty
Yeah.
uninspiring at this point, and it's made extra frustrating by the fact that the bounce was one of the arcs that did that, and that arc doesn't exist in the manga. So we're making this even worse. The long arm of the filler arc will never leave us. But yeah,
Yeah, but then it gets
Uryu.
cool.
What?
Then it gets cool though.
Yeah. So Uryu makes a deal with the devil being his father, that he will train to get his powers back in exchange for never associating with Soul Reapers ever again. So, we'll see how long that sticks. In the meantime, some Arankar come to the real world, called Yami and Ukiura. And I wrote this sentence earlier and thought, wow, this is just absolute gibberish if you don't know this anime, which is Yami and Ulquiorra arrive in Karakura and are fought off by Ichigo. That's just a
Yeah.
string of words that don't have any meaning if you haven't been watching. But they show up, and basically Ichigo is able to somewhat successfully fight off Yami, and then Ulquiorra. Well, actually, the tables get turned on him because the hollow inside of him wants to come out and play, and he doesn't like that, which leaves him defenseless.
Yeah.
So
Ichigo
he,
gets spooky brain and he has to get out of the fuck out of there.
yeah, good old spooky brain. So, he gets saved by Yami and Ulquiorra deciding that he's not worth it and going back home. Then, pretty much immediately, we cut to the next story beat, which is a different powerful Aron card deciding to come and fuck with the people in the real world. This one is Grimjow. He brings a group of his best companions to the real
Yeah.
world. They all spread out and start fighting the various Soul Reapers that have been stationed in the real world as a result of the appearance of the Arrancar. So several of our familiar faces from the Soul Society are here. They are each in various ways losing their fights until it turns out that they have had their powers dampened for some reason. I think the in-universe reason is that their Soul Reaper powers are so strong that they would cause collateral damage to the world around them if they were left unchecked, and so they are checked. And then instead of dying, they become unchecked and they win their fights pretty handily across the board.
Yeah.
Grimjow, meanwhile, is fighting Ichigo, who is losing real bad. The disparity in their power is just massive, and Grimjow is also significantly stronger than all of the people that just got killed by the various Soul Reapers they were fighting. So this could go poorly, except that then some of the other Arrancar show up and say that Grimjow has to come home because
Yeah.
Daddy Aizen is mad that he went on an unauthorized mission to the real world and it resulted in the death of several Arrancar. So he goes home, and Ichigo is saved by that little bit of narrative convenience. And now we're left with our heroes sort of licking their wounds and wondering what to do about the villains now.
Yeah. And that takes us into our final show that we've watched this year that was on our main docket, which is Fire Force. We picked up this
Fire
show
Force.
because we had finished the first season of Jujutsu Kaisen. Not Jujutsu Kaisen. The
Kaiju
first
number
season
8.
of Kaiju number 8. So, here we go. We
Woo!
meet Shinra. He is a smiley-faced boy who's not really smiling. His face is just that way. He joins Company 8 to fight Infernals, which are people that combust into monsters, fire demons, and sometimes they are not rampaging. Sometimes they're just guys that are sitting in the house that are like, please kill me. And then we find out that like these people that are going around fighting these things, they call them Fire Force companies. Sometimes they're not actually doing the good. Instead, sometimes they're starting the bad, aka turning people into Infernals. Company 5 crashes on Company 8. They go into an alliance after a big meeting of the minds. Then they find out that there's a traitor in Company 1. He's been turning in people into Infernals by using these little bugs. And he's looking for like a very special person that's going to be able to turn into like the star of heaven and stuff like that.
The most bug.
And we also have another character named Joker. He is going to be this random character that's showing up that's trying to like slowly remind Shinra that there is his brother out there, and he is doing something, and we don't know exactly what it is. And then at the very end of this season, or this part of the season that we watched, Company 8 joins with Company 7, and there's a big argument and fight before that, but they end up joining each other and making sure that they're both doing okay. And there's like a cut to all the villains being villainous, and you're just like, okay, we're leading towards something big and bad. Man, Fire Force is fantastic, but man, is it a show that is just like, if you take a lot of the points away from it, it looks really smooth on paper, but if you watch it, it is so dense.
Yeah,
But I love Fire Force.
I had a hard time summarizing it because there is so much happening. That we watched 12 episodes, and it's like dense with content in each of those episodes. And there were moments
Yeah.
that I got to that I was like, I don't even know how to describe this because it's so much going on. And for me, I have not watched past where we've watched. I haven't read any of it, so I don't have sort of future context. Like if Naruto, I could kind of reverse engineer a lot of stuff because I know what happens, and I've also been familiar with the series for a long, long time. And so with this, with just a deluge of new information, uh,
Yeah.
reviewing it was pretty challenging when I was going through that
Yeah.
today.
All right, but that's
Speaking
not all
of
we watched this
reviews,
year.
I think for the weekly jump, we always watch a handful of episodes and then talk about whether or not we like the experience and whether or not we recommend the experience. I don't think we need to go through and describe what these are, but I think we should. I think we should maybe like do a little lightning round of if we remember it, how do we feel about it right now, and then maybe talk about some of our favorites. How does that sound?
Yeah.
So,
All right.
Fairy Tale.
You want to start?
I just gonna say, let's kind of thumbs up, thumbs down, and then we'll go back and talk about the ones we liked the most.
And you can actually see our thumbs now.
Oh yeah, that's true. So, but you have to say it out loud for the audio only.
Yeah,
So,
for real.
fairy tale,
Thumbs down.
thumbs medium. I I think you should read it.
Man.
I'm not sure that you should watch it.
Yeah, it is definitely a manga that is not terrible and a show that is almost nigh unwatchable.
Yeah.
It is so hard. I've tried to watch it so many times because I love fantasy anime a lot.
Hmm.
Um, fun thing, I've said this a couple of times. I have been reading as deeply as I can possibly get into. Oh God, what is the other one called that I hate the anime version of?
Oh, solo
Black
leveling.
Clover.
Oh, Black Clover.
No. Black Clover. Black Clover. I hate the anime. I think it is
Yeah,
horribly
you
animated
do hate it.
and badly voice acted. I have a hard time watching it a lot. I don't want to say badly voice acted. I think there is a choice that is made by Asta's voice actor in the American version and the Japanese version that is so grating. It is nigh and it's so hard to watch.
It's like
And
doing all your dialogue in a poor Brooklyn accent.
yeah, but I will say that it is not the same screaminess inside of the manga because there's literally no sound,
Yeah.
and it is much more tolerable. And I just think that the manga is more well done than the anime version is. I've been told by people that like the newer seasons get better animation, and I was just like, I'm not gonna go that far in order to watch it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
But I feel
Fairy
that way about
Tales,
Fairy Tale because I've been reading it and I find it to be pretty enjoyable on the page.
yeah.
But the corners that are cut because of the time period in which the anime was released are really rough. That
All right,
time I got reincarnated as a slime.
medium.
Medium, yeah. I think it's good. It's just not for me.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's one of those that has a really cool premise, and because it has a really cool premise, you can get into it.
Hmm.
But if you're somebody that doesn't like isekai, it's going to be something that is so isekai, it turns you off.
It's very
All right,
isekai, yeah.
Go Go Loser Rangers. I think this is a thumbs up.
I think so too. I'm biased because I really like Power Ranger stuff, and this is very Power Rangers adjacent. It's a bit of a
Yeah.
deconstruction of Power Rangers. It's Power Rangers, but what if they were secretly the villains? I like that. I remember being a little underwhelmed by it and not super compelled by it, but I think it's a thumbs up for me.
Yeah, I have since watched all of it,
Oh,
and I will say that it gets better. I liked the first couple of episodes. I didn't think that it was fantastic, and then I decided that I was just going to finish it because I think it was good enough to finish.
uh-huh.
It is definitely worth it.
It's not that long.
I think
either.
it's a good
It's
show.
like 12 or 24, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not. It's not long at all.
Okay. Well. Hajime no Ippo, also called Fighting Spirit.
Yeah, man, this show is a classic.
These
The big
thumbs are
thumbs up.
so high. Uh, if it weren't for several other good things on this list, this would be the far and away winner of the best thing we reviewed this year, and it still might be.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's
It's
awesome.
like it does sports anime so right. And one of the things that I think that it does really really well is honestly, and like a lot of people will like balk at this that I have talked about before, but like this anime is like the same style of drama as like a Rocky movie, and I think that's what makes it so good because it's like it's about the drama and the weird fighting strategies that are also like grounded in reality. It's just I just love the way that this is done.
Yeah, it's so good. It really scratches the itch of that like sort of protagonist that is dedicated and tenacious, working hard to get better at something. It puts you into the mindset of the character. It puts you into the mindset of somebody doing the sport. I believe it is a. I don't want to speak out of turn here. I don't know anything about boxing, but I believe it's taking a relatively grounded approach to boxing, at least early on. And
Yeah.
so there's something about the way that they're talking about the the physicality and the technique and the sort of building blocks of it that feels so real and so attainable. I mean, this could be done. You could do it in live action, and it would lose nothing except the artistry of the animation. which is really high quality. I mean, it's so good. Definitely one of the top ones of the year, and it's a show that I watched more of after we covered it, which never happens.
Yeah. All right. Now we have Dan to Dan.
Yeah.
I love this show. Blake has mixed reviews,
It
I
did.
believe.
It didn't
Um,
hit for me, and I am looking forward to revisiting it. I have it written down on my to read list, so I'm gonna try and give the manga a go for a little bit, and see if I can get hooked into the vibes from there. The vibes of episode one were immaculate for me, and the vibes of the subsequent episodes sort of started to lose me. But I am gonna go ahead and err on the side of deferring to the rest of the world and give this one a thumbs up.
yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say, is this a zombie as the next one? I don't remember watching this.
Huh.
I'm just going to go ahead and put this down.
I'm googling
Um,
it. Is this a zombie? Thumbs down.
yep. Anyways, let's go to the next one. Ronin Warriors.
Uh huh.
Um, Ronin Warriors is a show out of time. I'm going to give it a 2 thumbs up because you should watch this amazing piece of anime history.
Uh huh.
Um,
I don't
where
know that I recommend it, but I do give it a thumbs up.
it is it is Power Rangers, but what if Power Rangers were samurai warriors and there was also a lot of sexism because of the time period?
Yeah, because it's the '80s. Yeah, it's definitely anime doing Power Rangers, but unlike Go Go Loser Rangers, which is directly and intentionally referencing and in a lot of ways deconstructing Power Rangers, this is Super Sentai, which is the genre that Power Rangers is a part of and is the, at least here in the West, the most well-known version of. This is just another type. It's just another Super Sentai. I would say Voltron
Yeah.
fits into that zone too.
Uh,
This is
Our
one of
next
those.
one is The Faraway Paladin, which I also don't remember watching.
I also don't. I'm googling it. Faraway Paladin. It's a novel series. I recognize. I recognize the images of it. I think I enjoyed this one. Was this the one where, like, he killed the demon, but he was like tucked away on an island?
Oh yeah, and he had to learn from the
The
different
like skeleton
things.
man. Yeah, I think this is
Man,
that
I
one.
hated this show.
I don't see the skeleton man, so maybe I'm misremembering. But if it's that one, oh yeah, there he is. This is the he is taught by the skeleton man on the island. I liked this one and you didn't. I'm thumbs upping.
Okay. The next one is Kuroko's Basketball, a show that I
Thumbs
recommend watching
down.
because it's about basketball.
If you need to watch a show about basketball, you should watch this because it is a show about basketball. Although I haven't
Yep.
watched Slam Dunk. Is Slam Dunk any good?
No, Slam Dunk does a lot of superpowers that aren't superpowers.
Well, so does this.
Kuroko's Basketball also does that, but it does it a little bit better.
Okay, well, tragically, there's no good basketball anime. If you think I'm wrong about that, not about this one. If you think Kuroko's Basketball is great, you are entitled to your opinion, and I disagree with you. If there is a secret basketball
Yeah.
anime that's good that I don't know about, go ahead and suggest that to us.
Next is Freerin, and I believe both of us should be doing 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, this was one of the best ones of the year.
It is legitimately one of the best anime in the past like 20 years. It is so fucking good. It's unbelievable.
It's great.
It does fantasy anime in a way that just seems completely perfect. And if you were to turn this seamlessly into a like live action series, you could probably make a fuck ton of money. I'm just saying.
I think you could, yeah.
Throwing that out there.
It fits really easily into like it's not, at least in the episodes that we watched, it's not so anime out there, which I think is a big challenge when you're adapting a lot of anime. A lot of anime is very big, crazy powers that are hard to adapt to the screen. I'll reference back to like Infinity War when Thanos punches a moon at Iron Man. Like that was a big anime moment, but you can't. I think we're at a point right now where it's hard to have a bunch of those moments in a row on a screen when it's not animated.
Oh Blake, Blake, did you say something about big dumb weird anime moments?
I did.
Yeah, that takes us into Tingen Top and Gurren Lagann.
I accept this transition.
Yep.
Tengen
Where they're
Toppa
just
Gurren
they're
Lagann.
gonna drill to the moon.
It's so good. Yet another big thumbs up. I gotta say, with this, with Freeman, with Hajime no Ippo, and with the show that we covered most recently, if we had to swap out all four of the shows we were covering every year and replace them with the best things that we reviewed from the year before, it would be those four.
Yeah.
It's hard to choose
I
which one I
love
like
this
the
fucking
most.
show.
That this is so good.
Yeah, it's so weird too. It's just
Yeah.
so perfect. Anyways, let's go to a weird one that I still don't like, even
Uh-huh.
though I have watched all of it, which is Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. I don't like it. I just don't like
I
it.
love it.
I don't know what the deal is with me and Ghost in the Shell. I love the original Ghost in the Shell movie, and I have hated every single Ghost in the Shell thing I've watched it after it. And I think it's just it just doesn't do it for me. Like sci-fi anime in some senses, like it doesn't hit me as well without like a weird fantasy aspect to it, or like it being like really really grounded inside of like a story for the characters that you're getting behind. Like if you think back to most anime that I talk about that I love, really the only one that's like a space show that I am obsessed with is Cowboy Bebop, and everything else is just kind of like,
You like
I'm not really into like the tech anime.
yeah, we haven't covered it on the show, but you like Outlaw Star as well.
Yeah, but Outlaw Star is fantasy. It's got spaceships,
It's
but
fantasy
it's
in
fantasy.
space. I
They
understand.
use fucking like the bullets that he's firing out of his guns are spells. So like just come on.
Yeah,
That's fantasy.
that's also like you could argue that Trigun is sci-fi, but it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand
Anyways,
that this makes sense, but yeah, I like Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. I did not continue watching it after we reviewed it, but I have seen the whole thing years ago when I was a Ute, and it was on Adult Swim, and I would record it and watch it, and it was one of my favorite things back then. And rewatching it, I was like, "Yep, this holds up. I think it's good." I definitely think it strikes a really good tone for a sort of like mature adult anime that is not like mature. It's not mature or adult in a sex or violence way. It is telling a complicated story about the philosophical implications of the future of technology through the lens of a future sci-fi police procedural, and I think that's really really fun.
yeah.
All right.
Seven Deadly Sins is one of those that I am going to put a thumbs up on watching the first season and a thumbs down for watching anything after it because it's fucking unwatchable.
Yeah,
It's not because of the story. It's because the animation takes such a nosedive that it just doesn't even look like the same fucking show.
I do think the animation quality remains in season 2 or season 3, depending on how it's. I remember watching this years ago, and season 2 came out, and it was like a 4 episode like set of side quests or something like that, and then
Yeah.
the next season came out where the actual story picked back up and did a full season of content. So however that is listed, that next season of content is also good.
Yeah.
It starts to feel a bit like a retread of itself, but it's still, if you enjoyed season 1 and you were like, I could have watched more of season 1, there's more. It's the next big season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have not made it to the point in the show where the quality degrades that you made it to, but that is my understanding. I do think this is worth watching at least up until that point, though.
Yeah. Next are going to be two that I kind of remember. Ghost Stories and Another.
Yep.
They're both spookies,
Sort
but
of.
both of them I did not like enough to where I have wiped them from my memory. I remember Ghost Stories being a thumbs down for me. It was kind of just like kind of weird, kind of scary, but not really.
Yeah.
And then Another being like, man, what is happening in this weird this weird like fantasy piece that just doesn't feel like it is correctly written for an anime. Adapt it into something else and then I'll watch it.
Yeah, I agree with you on both points. I'm giving these both a sideways thumb, and I might turn that sideways thumb down for Ghost Stories. I would like to turn it up for Another, but I agree with you on Another. Another is a sort of like it's a horror anime with supernatural elements in the form of ghosts, and it's just that the pacing is so slow. In those first
Yeah.
3 episodes, it's like there's decent vibes of like something is wrong, something is spooky, there's a mystery here, but the way that it's peeled back is so sort of like slow as to feel aimless, and that's definitely to its detriment. And the ghost stories is a sort of famous dub in that the original Japanese is a pretty straightforward supernatural adventure horror anime, and the dub took a big swing in going in a comedy route, and so it is famous for being bawdy and surprising, and just like big silly comedy. And I will say that in the scheme of silly comedy anime dubs, I found it to be pretty watchable, because that is not where I like to live. But yeah, it just wasn't for me. I kind of wish it was
Yeah.
the scary thing that it set out to be initially. All right, that
You know
leads
what
us
was
to
for
our.
me though?
You what?
You know what was for me though?
Tell me
Is
about it.
Ranking of Kings.
Yeah,
God, it's so good.
it is the
It's
fourth
just like
in
so
the
much
four
thumbs
great
up.
shows that we covered this year.
Yeah, I think that it is the second best fantasy anime that we watched. I watched all of it, just because I fucking love it.
Mm-hmm.
And the show continues to be perfect, all the way through to the final battle and the very end. It is just good the whole way through. Please watch it.
Yeah, and I think it stands out as doing something. It does fantasy really well, but it also feels really fresh because it's taking a new angle on things.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Now we're going to go into our favorite episode title of the year. We're going to start with Blake, and we're just going to go back and forth, and then we're just going to decide on which dumb one we like the most.
Yep. So,
Blake.
all right. First was structural integrity cleavage.
The Spooky Face Brothers.
Mushroom Man and the Big Red Boy.
Old Sweet Glasses.
Its true form is axe.
Crush or Crushed.
Good news, we're not killing you today.
Zombie Emotional Distress Army.
He's turned the wind into a sword.
George R. R. Martin for anime.
Jet-powered feet.
The Old Man That Was Slightly Less Old.
Granos Monday.
Maybe I'll kill everyone?
Bugs would not have been on the list.
Giant Fox Demons Are People Too.
Silly Soul Reaper Sleepover.
Gojo Standard Time.
Lighting children on fire.
New season Who This, aka Monster Talk.
Demon Pokeball People.
And Chris Claremont Seasoning. God, it's got to be Granos Monday, doesn't it?
I will say my favorite is the one right before that. The Old Man That Was Slightly Less Old. There is something about that phrasing that just gets me. And I don't remember what the context was. It would have been Naruto Shippuden. So at some point in Naruto Shippuden, there was an old man that was slightly less old. I think it's like Onoki and one of the reincarnated like previous Kage or something. But I believe that you described that character as the old man that was slightly less old. And that phrasing is just so good. I love it so much. And then, yeah, in the next episode, you said Granos Monday instead of Menos Grande.
Anyways, now we're going to go into this year's best anime and manga. I am going to go ahead and throw it out there that I think the best anime that we watched this year is Frieren. I don't think it's close. I think that I love the shows that we are watching on the main shows. Frieren is a show that I started watching because we had to watch it, and then I watched all of it, and then I sat down and watched it with a friend of mine that lives where I live. Because he was wanting to do a rewatch of it, and it held completely up the second time to the point where a third friend of ours who is also there, he started watching it, and he was just like, "This is just good D&D content," and I was like, "Right?
Yeah,
it's just great."
it's hard to disagree with that. Going through what we reviewed this year, uh, I would say Freeman is up there. I have such a high opinion of Hajime no Ippo for so deeply and immediately engrossing me into a thing I don't care about, which is sports, and specifically sports that are about fighting. I find that to be, other than like golf, that's like the least interesting version of sports to me. And
Mm.
God, I was just so hooked on this. Free Run was awesome. I mean, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann is amazing. And of course, Ranking of Kings, I think, is right up there with Frieren and being visually beautiful as well as like a beautiful narrative. It's like
Yeah.
impossible for me to pick between those four. I will say that my favorite thing that we covered this year is Kaiju number 8. Boy, does that show do it for
Oh.
me. God, I love Kaiju
Yeah,
number 8.
he's really into kaiju if you don't know.
Yeah, I would say in the same way that you're all if it's a fantasy thing, you want to check it out and hope that it's good. I kind of feel that way about kaiju, but I have lower standards on whether or not it's good. Like I've watched all the Godzilla movies that have come out recently in that sort of like monster verse, and other than the most recent one, I think they're all pretty good from the standpoint of they're all doing what I need them to do, which is to be a fun thing with big monsters. Um,
Yeah.
all right. I would also say, you know, I'd like to point out any anime or manga that you have consumed this year, external to the podcast, that stands out for you as being worth a mention. Um, I'm not sure that I have a manga that I've been into this year that stands out to me. I will say, obviously, as the resident Digimon fan, Digimon's in a great spot right now, and that includes the anime space with the currently airing anime Digimon Beat Break, which is partly because the franchise is at a crest of popularity, and partly because the anime itself is being really well received, has gotten a kind of quick turnaround dub that started releasing. But yeah, Digimon Beat Break stands out to me this year as maybe the only anime that I have watched, not because the podcast asked me to watch it. And it is good, not just because I like Digimon, but because it is actually good.
All right. Let's go into our rankings.
Yeah.
Let's start with the very bottom, and we're gonna have to shoehorn in a new anime.
Yeah, so
So
I
first
checked
and foremost,
everything that's on this list that we've been covering uh, includes the stuff that we're covering this year, except for our new show for the year, which was Fire Force. So we have to find a
yeah,
home for that.
I I said first and foremost, but I should have said first and last most, which
Yes,
is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 2: Battle Tendency. It's terrible.
thumbs down. At number 17, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 1, Phantom Blood. Thumbs up for the first three
JoJo,
episodes, and thumbs way, way down for the rest of it.
yeah. Next one is going to be 16, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3: Stardust Crusaders. Did we mention we don't like
We
JoJo's
don't
Bizarre
like it.
Adventure?
Uh, Number 15 was Dimension W. So we're shifting. That's a hard shift from something that
Mm.
we did not like, three things that we did not like, to Dimension W, which I think we both really enjoyed quite a bit. But which just starts to pale in comparison to how much we enjoyed the rest of the things on the list. Or in
Yeah.
some cases, how much we think that the cultural impact and overall enjoyment of the peaks uh, stand out for some of the longer things on this list, such as.
Yeah. Next is going to be 14, which is Naruto. Need we explain?
Uh huh. Number 13 is Bleach for similar reasons.
Number 12 is Naruto Shippuden because it's better than original Naruto.
Yeah, and I guess we debated it above Bleach. Number 11 is Kill la Kill, which is great.
Num- Number 10 is Hunter x Hunter.
Number 9 is Soul Eater.
Number 8 is Fooly Cooly.
Number 7, Yu Yu Hakusho.
Number 6, Jujutsu Kaisen.
Number 5, One Punch Man, Season 1.
Number 4, Kaiju number 8.
Number 3, Mob Psycho 100.
Number 2, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
And our perennial number 1, Not getting unseated this year. It's Cowboy Bebop.
Yep.
All right, so
I have a suggestion of where to put Fire Force.
good. I also think we should maybe look at a couple of things on this list.
All right, I'm gonna put Fire Force as number 9 and move Soul Eater down.
So between Fully Cooley and Soul Eater. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with
Stop
this.
trying to move Fully Cooley around, you son of a bitch. I know what you're doing.
Like I think actually I raised an eyebrow at Fully Cooley being below Yu Yu Hakusho, but I'm comfortable with that. Um I will say I as I mentioned, I'm wondering if we should swap Bleach and Naruto Shippuden. I generally think
Oh
that
yeah,
Naruto
definitely.
is a better told story than Bleach. I say it a lot.
Yeah.
I think that Bleach gets by with rule of cool instead of with incredible plotting. I think it's mostly tropes deployed well, and a person who knows how to design a character and to deploy a character's ability really successfully. I think that Naruto
Yeah.
actually has some really good characterization that Bleach pretty much entirely lacks, and that it has really good plot turns. However, I think accepting the bounce, which I'm discounting because it's filler and we only watched it because we're doing that for the Patreon episodes, I think that maybe Bleach is beating Naruto Shippuden for me right now.
Yeah, I would actually put Bleach, now that we've started the good arc of it, I would probably put it right underneath like Hunter x Hunter right now, above Kill la Kill.
Okay. I think I'm
Bleach is going to
comfortable with
continue
that.
to rise for me.
I'm going to say I'm comfortable with that largely on the weight of Bleach being more of a cultural institution. Kill la Kill is more of an
Yeah.
art piece. I think Kill la Kill is better more consistently. Some of that is Bleach's, a product of its time, but even in the manga, a lot of Bleach's problems are persistent. I mean, we were talking earlier about the redundancy with Uryu's plot arc, and it is made worse by the existence of the Bount filler, but it's not created by the existence of the Bount filler. It happens in the actual content as well. Bleach
Yeah.
Bleach has problems, but it's really
Yeah.
cool, and it has stood the test of time for a reason. Um,
Yeah.
I'm a little dubious
I've
on putting
decided
Kill
to
la Kill
stand, by the
down,
way.
but I'll agree.
Yeah. As we go into the very end of our show, we have our awards to hand out for the year. Um, my best opener for the year is going to be Dan,
Okay.
and that's mostly because of it's a certified bop. It is on like my running playlist. It is so good. So come fight me.
I think I'm going to go with Kaiju number 8. I find it to be really intriguing that they turned to a Western artist. So I think it stands out in part because they made an atypical choice there. I also think that the song is really catchy, and I often catch it in my head randomly. When I'm just sitting around, suddenly that song will just start playing. I just really like it.
Yeah. Best animation for the year, I'm going to put down there is going to be Ranking of Kings.
Okay.
Ranking of Kings has such a cool animation style. I think it's just really, really well done.
Yeah, I definitely think I am not going to disagree with you. I'm going to yes and. My initial thought was Free It's just gorgeous. I mean, Ranking of Kings and Free I think are in a dead heat with each other as far as just the craftsmanship and the storytelling that are going on there. I will also say, if we're picking from our stable of shows that we're covering in the main coverage, I think it has to be Jujutsu Kaisen, right?
Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen does amazing things with their animation.
Yeah.
Um, I would argue that, yeah, like Jujutsu Kaisen has some of the best animation that is in anime right now. Um, but like, man, it just when you take a big swing for like the way that you're doing something in a light that is very different from most anime, and then you just fucking knock it out of the park, you should be commended.
Yeah. I appreciate that perspective.
Uh,
All
yeah.
right. Best fight.
I would say that my favorite fight of this year, man,
It's
I
hard.
I just, huh?
This is really hard.
I just I love seeing like a big bad that thinks that they're like the biggest big bad get their ass completely handed to them by a different big bad. So I'm gonna put on there that fucking what's his name, the nunchuck guy fighting against the incarnation of the sea
Yeah,
in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Toji against the
Man,
Cthulhu guy.
yeah, he just beats him the fuck down with those nunchucks.
I am not surprised to hear you say that. I'm going with a little bit of recency bias on that too. With Jujutsu Kaisen, I really liked Yuji versus the Blood Guy. I found that to be an interesting back and forth. It had the cat and mouse game that I really like in a lot of anime battles. So that one stands out to me. I love, I mean, Kaiju number 8 just fucking does it for me. So I could pull something out of there, but yeah, that's the one that's standing out of my brain right now. I definitely think that is a. I'm not saying that it's not worthy of being chosen for this, but I do think that there is recency bias at play there, because we just watched that episode and it was really sick.
Yeah.
Funniest.
Funniest moment of the year is definitely from Kaiju number 8 for me. Um, I think my favorite one of the moments, one of my favorite moments from it, is that they have this moment where like everybody is too invested in having a conversation to get out of the sauna, and they just get overly hot and all pass out. I just love that.
Yeah, I don't like to do this. I'm kind of punting on this one. I sat there. I was putting together the notes. I was working on the notes over the weekend, and then I spent a lot of time today working on the notes as well. And I kept looking at funniest moment, and I was like, I need something for all of these, and I could not come up with anything. I think if you really pressed me, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann has a lot of good funny moments. Um, but yeah, it's hard for me to remember. There were moments that I laughed out of delight, and there were definitely jokes that made me laugh. But yeah, it's hard for me to come up with a specific funny moment where I was like, "That was great."
Yeah. All right. The most anime moment of the year,
Yeah, I've got you.
Blake.
The most anime moment of the year was people putting bugs into a human's body to turn them into a fire demon.
I'm gonna say that my most anime moment of the year was when they had a completely normal conversation between a shadow that lives on the floor and talks with a weird little mouth, between him and somebody that is deaf and dumb.
Yeah, I think I'm
So,
right, but I still don't think you're wrong.
all right, favorite content.
Yeah, so this our favorite content creators from the year, both anime and not anime. What have we been spending our time with this year?
Yeah, I'm gonna say my favorite content, weirdly enough, this year was getting into playing video games for like the first time in a really long time,
Okay.
and playing Hades. That game is super fun. But I'm gonna also throw it out there. There's a content creator that I want to throw out that is personal to me because I worked on one of their projects,
Ah.
and it's called Nova Ship. It is a visual novel that was part of the Spooktober visual novel jam, and I was one of the voices for it, and I loved being a part of it. And I think the animation is beautiful, and the storyline is super fun. And I'm also a voice, so check it out.
That is very cool. A really good reason to do that. I'm trying to think. My content this year has been a little bit lame, if I'm being honest. I can't think of like a any new podcasts that super stand out to me. I went through a big push earlier in the year to add a bunch of story podcasts to my listening rotation, and for the most part, they fell off. There are a couple that are still on there, so tune in next year to see if I elevate those to, hey, you got to check this out. But it's still early going for a lot of that new stuff for me. So for the most part, my podcast listening, which I spend a lot of time listening to podcasts, it's been centered on stuff that I have been listening to for years. So nothing new there. On YouTube, I got really into Numat the Nummy. He's a professional Magic player. I really like watching LSV do Magic drafts. And Numat the Nummy, I expanded out onto other content creators that used to be LSV or bust for me. I've watched a couple other people online, like Nikolai Bolas does a fine job, but he just doesn't do it for me. But Numat Thanami, I really like his energy. I think his playstyle is different enough from LSV, the way that he talks about things and the way that he builds decks, that it feels like you're getting a sort of a different angle into the game of Magic by watching his content. So I've kind of started watching a lot of his stuff. And I'm really enjoying, particularly watching that with the Avatar: The Last Airbender set, because I love Avatar: The Last Airbender, and it has really revitalized my love of Magic: The Gathering. And I just think that the two of those things are a real perfect marriage, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm looking forward to the next Magic set, but I'm not looking forward to Avatar not being the current Magic set because it's really really good.
Yeah.
And then, as I said earlier, Heated Rivalry was one of the year's biggest hits. It's totally worth watching. And in the vein of gay TV is good now, I would also like to point out that Overcompensating came out this year, and it was very, very, very funny and very good. Lots of awkward cringe humor. Like, I don't think it's your kind of thing anyway, Spencer, but even if I thought you would enjoy it in a vacuum, I think that it would be too cringy for you to watch on your own. But I loved it. It was my favorite thing of the year until Heated Rivalry came out and became my favorite thing instead. But it's really exciting, and both of those are good gay shows from actual gay actual gay creatives that have both been renewed for a second season. So I'm very enthusiastic about those things.
Anime we're most excited to watch for this upcoming year.
Yeah.
There's a couple of seasons that are going to be coming out of anime. Basically, I'm the most excited to just keep on watching Kaiju number 8.
Yep.
I love it. I love every bit of the manga. I've read it all the way through, and I'm ready to see it animated more.
Yeah, I have started reading the manga. I have not made it to where we left off, so I don't have any additional information about what might be coming. But yeah, Kaiju number 8 is the thing I'm the most excited about. I am really excited to watch more Digimon Beat Break. It's really good. It's genuinely good. If you have not gotten into Digimon, start there. It's good. Also, I think My Hero Academia, I stopped watching it after I binged up to the start of season 5 so that we could do that interview a couple years back, and now it's over and I want to watch it and finish it.
Yeah. And the favorite anime of the year, Blake and I are probably in agreement that it's just fucking Frieren. It's just so good. Man. It is a like generational anime. You should watch it.
I do think that Ranking of Kings is excellent. Tengen Toppa is excellent. Dandadan wasn't for me, but I'm hoping that I can come around on it. Hajime no Ippo, an all-time classic, and I totally get it why it's a classic from the jump. And of course, Jujutsu Kaisen's great. Kaiju number 8 was like made in a lab to be something I would love. But yeah, I think Frieren might edge them all out by being that kind of anime that feels like it's anime, but feels like it doesn't have to be anime to work as a story. It uses the animation medium to create just absolutely stunning visuals. The artistry is high, and it's the kind of thing where it's like you could sit down with your anime friends and they're going to love it. You could sit down with people who have never been able to understand anime, and there's a good chance that they are going to love it.
Yep. And that's it, man.
Woo!
That's our year.
It's been a year. So, it's been 8 years. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited for doing more things. We have more things that we're working on this year.
Yeah.
We are in a video format now, so it's just exciting, man, and it's a great way to stay in shape. Anyways, we'll talk to y'all later.
All right, bye. Happy New Year.